I want to bring in a special guest who is joining us this hour in Detroit, Michigan. The attorney who's representing the families of the 4 young victims slain in this tragedy. Venn Johnson is here with us. Venn, thank you so much for coming on and speaking to us. I know this has likely been a very emotional day for your clients, for you, having to sit through everything that came out in this trial. Your reaction to the verdict, was there any fear after it got to 10 hours that there may be a different decision?
Well, those of us that do trial work, and I'm no criminal expert, but I've been doing civil law now for 38 years, know that anytime a jury is involved, it is very difficult. And so, yes, everyone was concerned and worried, and as well as they should be, right? But at the same time, very relieved. Some are, to use their words, ecstatic. Others are not. No one's doing high fives. No one's going crazy. But it is a huge second step. The shooter pled guilty, got sentenced. Step 1, step 2 now, Mrs. Crumbley found guilty. Step 3 will be Mr. Crumbley in his criminal case, which we fully anticipate the evidence will be even just as overwhelming, if not more, of his guilt. And then we go to steps 3 and 4 on our civil case, 1 in state court. We're currently before the Michigan Court of Appeals and Appeal, and then at federal court, United States Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals down in Cincinnati. So a long, long road to go, but an important step today.
A long process to navigate that's not over. Is there something that they want the public to take away from this? We're calling it historic legally because it sets a precedent, but for these families, can you speak to what they hope it's going to bring about in holding these parents responsible, or parents so far? We have another trial coming up where James Crumbley is accused of the same crimes.
Right. What to us is historic, right? It's being, some, not everyone, but some are characterizing this as being the first time that anyone's being held responsible for making a gun available to people. Sadly, that's not true. Here in Michigan, we have at least 2 appellate decisions that have upheld the convictions of parents who did not take care of a gun, and then sadly one child shot another child in 2 different situations. The unique part is the mass shooting part, but that shouldn't be what we're talking about. What we're talking about, this woman, this mother, was not found guilty today simply because her son shot up the school. She was found guilty today because of the acts and the omissions, the things she affirmatively did wrong and the things that she didn't do right, because she contributed to that. So it was a separate and distinct crime than being an accessory under the law, and criminal experts could certainly tell you a lot better about that than I could.
Absolutely. And I love that we're getting your insight, being able to share some of what the families are going through. There's a moment that I imagine was particularly poignant for them. I want to play it and get your reaction to it on the other side. It was from one of the state's final witnesses, the lead investigator, Timothy Willis. He gave a really emotional testimony about how he responded to the school that day. Let's watch.
Okay, thanks.
I do remember them telling me it's real.
Okay. And when you were told it's real, what clicked in with you?
I went downstairs.
Excuse me. Take your time.
I went downstairs and immediately got in my car and went lights and sirens to the scene.
Do you recall how long it took you to get there?
It was somewhere within 20 minutes, I believe it was.
That video that was played inside of the courtroom, it seemed to impact a lot of people. Our cameras could see the defendant, Venn, but tell me about the family members that you represent. Did they have to see video that they'd never seen before while inside of this trial?
The overwhelming majority of my clients had seen parts of the video before. And the sad reality is, as part of our civil case, we've not been given the full and complete video, but they were allowed to go to the prosecutor's office, those who chose to, because some chose not to, and view it. So some of it was a surprise, meaning they just hadn't seen it before. They knew it was there. Others had seen it. And so overwhelmingly, it was not a huge surprise per se. But of course, you can say it's not a surprise. You've seen it before. But when you see people, but especially children, being shot and killed in the manner in which that the shooter did in this case, it's shocking every time you see it. And if it's not shocking, then we have even bigger problems than we thought we did.
What may also be shocking to our viewers, Ven, is that the defense tried very hard to keep the pictures of the victims out of the trial, also the video of what happened. It was denied in Jennifer's case. James Crumbley has asked for the same thing. The judge has denied it. What's their reaction to just that attempt to keep even the pictures of their loved ones out of the trial? Well,
my clients, obviously, as we've shared with them repeatedly, even though that we're not the criminal law, this is the prosecutor's office, but we share with them that the defense attorneys are going to do everything possible, right, to try to do anything they can do to take away the worst part of the case for the prosecution. And the video and the pictures are horrible. So of course they're going to do this. They do it in every civil case that I try. It's the same thing. So the fact of the matter is that we've explained to them that's part of the process. But of course, when it's your family member, when it's our other clients or their loved ones, it's horrible. It feels horrible, and I can do my best to explain to them as part of the process, but it falls on deaf ears, right? How could you possibly do that?
Ven Johnson, we could talk to you about this case for so long, but we are out of time. But you have a civil case for your clients that is pending. Thank you again for sharing with us. It's time now for us to take a short break, so don't go in.